Precisely. Now, you'll notice very carefully, if you go to their website, you will see an emblazoned logo on their berets on the side of their vehicles. It has a two-headed eagle. That is the Serbian royal family crest. That's so basically this Michael Hilton guy refers to himself as Captain Michael Hilton. Stands about 5'1", maybe 150 pounds soaking wet. This gentleman has got a very, not so personal attitude about it. And I asked Ms. Shea in our conversation, I says, don't you think it's rather deceptive to play all these, I'm not going to tell you where our funding comes from, I'm not going to tell you who our parent company is. I said, all this cloak and dagger and smoke and mirrors, I said, how do you expect the people of Hardin to trust you? And she says, well, they really don't have to, because it's basically already cut and dried with their city council. That the paperwork
incredibly arrogant. Yeah, they went and bought the council. Stay there. Final segment. We got another interview coming up, but I'm very impressed with your analysis. Come back with us on the other side, and I definitely want to hook up with you in Montana, and we're going to be getting into Montana tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. We'll be right back. This is important. A real-life FEMA camp run by foreign spooks, and we're on it. There's so many red flags in this that we're going to be covering it over the next 2 days, along with all the latest flu developments here on air. Burmis will be sitting in live. I'll be doing live reports from Montana. But then you have the lady running for mayor whose husband was the head of the facility, who's now been removed. I mean, this just gets crazier and crazier, sir.
Yeah, it sure does. The Smith gentleman was the executive director of Twin Rivers Authority. They say that he was put on administrative leave without so much as an explanation. And I've tried on all of the three numbers I've been able to obtain. I get nothing but voicemail. Carrie Smith, who is his wife, who is the current mayoral candidate, is attempting to, the statement she made was, don't worry, everybody, citizens of Hardin, the truth about APF will be exposed soon enough, and then just go with the flow. That was a direct quote from her that can be found.
Yeah, that's her on the TV news.
Yeah.
And the State House is saying we're not getting answers.
Yeah, and well, that's the thing is, this last 2 days that I've spent literally most of this last 2 days on the phone with Montana government, I'm getting all these canned answers from Governor Schweitzer, from Senator Baucus, and it's all the same thing. Well, sir, we're very honored that you took the time to contact us today. We'll be glad to send you a rubber-stamped form letter and blah, blah, blah. No, we're actually not really at liberty to talk about that. The biggest, scariest, and most disgusting thing about this, Mr. Jones, is that they say the same thing. This is a private deal between the city of Havre and American Police Force and Two Rivers Authority. You're going to have to talk to them. So I asked this guy, literally it was a verbal duke out with this guy. I said, so what you're telling me is that the governor of my state, the supreme authority of my state, has absolutely no interest in the fact that there are foreign mercenaries who have set up a forward operating base, essentially. It's a hardened structure surrounded by...
Well, it's an abdication of authority. They're just saying, do whatever you want. And then you said this commander, he calls himself some type of commander. He's
Captain Michael Heston or something like that.
And you're saying he gets really mad when you try to talk to him?
Well, I haven't had the ability to personally talk to him, but what I have seen in the interviews is that he's very short, he's very brief, and very matter-of-factly with the media representatives that have spoken with him. I've reached out.
Who is the old guy with the foreign accent, always smoking cigarettes with everyone? The town officials are always groveling. Their body language is... okay, that's him. They're always...
Yeah, he's got the big Russian accent, yeah. And then the tall, heavy-set gentleman with gray hair is Al Peterson, who is the executive director of Two Rivers Authority. He physically cursed me out over the phone, told me I was way out in left field, was full of bovine feces, and told me exactly where I could go stuff myself, and then hung up on me. So I called him back twice. He hung up on me again. Third time, I left him a message, and I said, sir, you're neither away from your phone nor are you dealing with another client. You were deliberately ignoring a call from a concerned American patriot while you're harboring mercenaries on American soil.
Well, here's the bottom line. Where is this going? Because they may think that they own the town. This is like something out of an old Western. How is this going to end? Just black SUVs riding around, ruling us?
Well, that's our summarization at this point is that, we've been observing these conditions as they magnify magnetomically on a daily basis. Everything that Obama has told us has been a bald-faced lie. He said, analysis is imperative. He very clearly said in one of his addresses to the nation, quote, we need a private military force, a private police force that is just as well equipped and trained as our modern military.
Just as big, just as strong. Just as big, just as strong.
Well, by God, here they are. They're called APF. Here they are, Mercs.
And she told you, their spokeswoman, the former Billings Gazette reporter, now admittedly she said, oh, this is nationwide.
she, in no uncertain terms, she was very evasive about it, but she slipped on a couple of occasions and said that this is how they had done the evaluations for centers from coast to coast, that they had several other states they were looking at doing the same thing.
And then they won't say where their money comes from, but predominantly their corporate. And on the news they say hundreds. One newscast said 500. One said more personnel are about to arrive, but no one can be told anything about them.
The current statistics that we've been able to obtain is that there are approximately 50 to 60 current active agents for American Police Force within the boundaries of the United States, and they have approximately 1,600 operators worldwide. They claim to be able to land a battalion-sized Special Forces qualified element of troops within 72 hours anywhere globally. And that's a battalion, that's an awful lot of Special Forces qualified troops. But, the other thing that we're kind of leery about this whole thing is that, when I directly approached her and I said, so what about these potential ties that we've discovered through our research on the Internet that say that you were tied to corporations like Dynacor, like, Three Canopies, or the Dynacor Blackwater Security, now known as XE. And she says, well, I'm not really at liberty to discuss any of this.
So this group may just be a cutout for a consortium of mercs.
I'm basically what it is this is the smoke screen. When you go to penetrate your enemy's defensive lines, what you're going to do is probe their defenses first to find out where their strong points are. And you do that by creating extremely sensitive and extremely visible pockets of little things that people can see. From that point, you exploit the weaknesses.
Well, yeah, we're getting calls about black SUVs, Humvees, troop movements all over that area. We're going to get more updates from you in the days to come when I'm on the ground in Montana. Mr. Hollingsworth, your reports at Infowars.com. Thanks for your great info.
Oh, yeah, Alex. Thank you for everything you do.